welcome into the Dana Duckworth Show presented by Alabama One. I'm Maggie Hetzel alongside head coach Dana Duckworth. Coach, you and the ladies went to the Metroplex Challenge in Fort Worth, Texas this past weekend, and you faced off against three really talented teams, four really talented, including yourself, Oklahoma, Denver, Georgia, and you guys tied with Denver for second with a 196.575. What did you take away from that meet with your ladies?
It was an awesome experience for our team. You know, first of all, we're on the podium, and the podium is what we will compete at the SEC Championship and the National Championship back in Fort Worth in April. So that was wonderful. I think that the ladies started on bars, and they were on fire. It was one of the best bar rotations we have had going into the third meet of the season. It was exciting to see Emily Gaskins make her debut on bars for this season following her summer of surgeries, and I can't tell you how delighted it was to see her be rewarded. And so overall, we had 4 glaring mistakes, and the girls really just kept pounding away, and so we came away with a lot of confidence. We came away with some opportunities for young women to step up and do a better job the next time, and also be able to see that team camaraderie.
A 49.45, your season best on bars so far, and we're going to go straight into Emily Gaskins' routine, and she had a 9.9, and you spoke about how exciting it was to see her back.
Yes, Emily has worked so hard to get this routine back. She does a beautiful combination right here. She hits that first handstand. This is called a Maloney to the high bar, goes right back into a pack salto to the low bar. She sets up for the half pirouette that landed on top of the bar, so there were very little deductions right there. And then this is an area she's been working on, getting that last handstand, and that was her only deduction. She sets up for her dismount, a double layout, a huge E-level skill, and the landing just put the exclamation point on that routine.
And another high score, you had Lexi Graber. She had a 9.9. We won't see her in the highlight, but we will see Jency Givens, who had her career best, a 9.925 for Jency.
I wish you could have just seen the joy on Jency's face when she landed that dismount. She does a really nice combination here. She hits those handstands on top of the bar, a blind change into a straddle Jaeger, a single bar release move that is a requirement that also looked beautiful. But what was an exclamation point for her routine was her handstand work. If you see how she really hits that with a tightness and what I call a lockout, is beautiful. But look at this dismount. She gets well above the bar, and there was just, it's like a dart into the ground. And you just see that that was her best performance of her career. And it really got the entire team on fire as we went into balance beam.
Oh, you talked about handstands as your tip of the week last week and how important those were. Another place handstands are important is beam, and you had a 49.1 on beam. And going from bars to beam is a little bit different than any rotations you guys are used to. So what's the mindset of the ladies heading off of bars into beam?
The idea was to do what we do in practice every day. We wanted to be focused on really when on the podium surface, the beam tends to be a little more bouncy. So I tell the girls and share with them, work with the beam, don't work against them. And we had 6 really good routines. I felt that the judging was very consistent across the board, but they were being very strict, which is a good thing at this time of the season because it makes our ladies better.
And 2 of your freshmen who we won't see their beam routines in the highlight, but Ella and Makari, 9.825s for them. The first one we will look at, another freshman, Luisa Blanco, and she had a 9.875.
It was exciting for Luisa because, one, she is from the state of Texas, and she had almost 30 family members there, and she did a gorgeous job on this event. The front aerial is a D-level skill, gives her 1/10 bonus, and she does it just beautifully. But look at her attention to detail, her toes and her fingers. She sets up for what's called a back handspring layout. That's an acro series. She gets 1/10 of bonus there, and just makes it look so light and easy. She has her down in the beam section here as she sets up for her dismount. Her dismount was the only deduction in her entire routine. You'll see here that she takes a little bit of a step and kind of buckles the knees on the dismount, a double full, a C-level skill, and then takes that step forward. So when you look at the score and you look at this deduction, that is the only place the judges had to take. So even yesterday in practice, we really worked on the dismount, looking at how to focus and find that place to be better.
And Lexi Graber, a 9.875 for her.
So Lexi anchored us on balance beam, and she was in an incredible mindset. Her series right here is a back handspring 2-foot. This is a very hard series, and she again did the connection of the beat jump right out of it. And what I loved about watching Lexi on podium is she looked very comfortable. Right here, she has a combination, a cat leap to what's called a Liukin. It's an E-level skill. She gets 3/10 for that combination, and a gainer full that she nails the landing. So what was beautiful is 50% of our landings on beam were solid, and 50% can improve. So the nice thing is it gives us a place to really hone in on this week, because if we can get those landing deductions back on the few events that we lost them on, we could add an entire point to our score.
So 49.45 on bars, 49.1 on beam. Heading into floor and vault, two of your top events. How did you feel about your ladies' performance on bars and beam and setting you up for those two events?
I think the biggest thing is they went out there with purpose, they went out there with focus, and they stayed in the bamboo bubble, and they continued to fight for every tenth that they could get.
Coming up next, we are talking floor and vault. Stay with us here on the Dana Duckworth Show.
The Dana Duckworth Show is brought to you by Alabama One.
Welcome back into the Dana Duckworth Show, presented by Alabama One. Coach, we're going to jump straight into floor. A 49.075 for you on that. Griffin James, a 9.85. We'll get to those highlights, but what did you see from your ladies on floor?
I saw an incredible amount of expression. I really wanted them to go out there and put on a show and really get comfortable with looking in the judges' eyes and bringing the artistry that is a big part of our scores.
And I see the ladies dance along with each routine. How important is that for the ladies to look over and see their other teammates interacting with them?
I feel that's a connection. I just think that when you look over and your athletes are doing it with you, you feel like everyone has one heartbeat and one focus, and it's all on that athlete that is performing. And the girls have a lot of fun with it, and it certainly makes it fun for the athlete that's performing.
Well, on Instagram after the meet, you posted Griffin James' picture of her floor routine and said sassy, and that is exactly what it was. She had a 9.85. Let's take a look at that.
Just watch her expression. Griffin has worked really hard. You know, last season she didn't get to see the lineup very much, and she just worked so hard this summer. She does a tucked full in. There's a small little separation in the legs, but look at the face and the expression and the fun that she's having. This pass is where she had some challenges. You'll see her buckle her knees a little bit right there, and she kind of had her chest down, but I know that she can fix that, and for being rewarded with those small little mistakes. I love this little butt bounce here. When we were at our home crowd, the crowd went crazy, and it was a lot of fun, so I'm proud for Griffin right there. She just got her feet a little in front of her. She needed to get her feet underneath her. So that was her major deduction.
And Lexi Graber, a 9.9 for Lexi.
I just think Lexi, I can't speak enough to the consistency this young woman has shown. She does another tuck full in. It's incredibly high. Nice controlled landing. She sells the dance. Now her last pass is a combination where she does a front through to a double pike. Because she has a double salto last pass, she gets an extra tenth. So the indirect connection right there gives her 2 tenths plus the 1, so she has 3 tenths bonus in that last pass. You see that she sets up the fun dismount and the big finish, and I love the way she's selling it. I love the way she's having fun with it. We didn't show her leaps, but I thought her leaps were outstanding this week. But you see here, her chest is high when she lands, and she really doesn't give the judges a lot to deduct.
And you talked about Lexi's mindset. What kind of mindset was she in, and how did she lead her team to be in that same mindset?
Lexi is a competitor. I mean, she craves competition. And I remember at the end of last year just saying, Coach, thank you so much for letting me do what I love so much. And that's what I see every time she goes out there. She goes out there and she attacks, and she does it almost with a fearless attitude, and it really projects.
Right into vault, a 48.95 on vault, and that's going to be tough to go straight to after your 3 rotations. We'll look at Luis's Blancos first, a 9.825.
She did a beautiful vault. You see her hips stay really strong, but she has that extra little bounce. So that's the place where we could definitely get some tenths back right there. Didn't need to pike down, but it's a really clean Yurchenko full. And remember, that vault starts at a 9.95, so it's her 9.95 to lose, right? Now, Shallon does a double full. It's a 10.0 start value, but she really, on this vault, she got good height, and she sells that landing, but you see how she kind of stepped back out of it? There's a deduction for not having a completely controlled landing. So her knees were a little broken, there was a little bit of a pike down, and those are where those deductions came from. And I'm excited to see Shallon put a really great vault together, because we're in our, that's only our 3rd meet. And I keep having to remind myself that, we are only a 3rd through the season. We have a lot of gymnastics left, and the girls have an incredible amount of momentum, and I'm excited to see what they're going to do with it.
What were the takeaways from the Metroplex Challenge? I mean, you're against some of the top teams in the country, Oklahoma, Denver, Georgia, and 7th ranked Alabama. So what do you take away from facing those really talented gymnastics programs?
I think the biggest takeaways are that we know we had 4 major errors, didn't have to count all of them, and we also know that we left some stuck landings on the table. So the excitement is the ladies know that they have the potential to be incredible. And so we just have to continue to work the process, focus on the details, and be in the moment every second of the day.
Well, Coach, as we looked at floor, coming up next, we're going to have Coach Dana Duckworth's tip of the week, and it's all about floor scoring and what goes into a floor score. Stay with us for that.
The Dana Duckworth Show is brought to you by Alabama One.
Welcome back into the Dana Duckworth Show, presented by Alabama One. We've got head coach Dana Duckworth's tip of the week, and this week it's all about floor scoring. And you hear the commentators talk a lot about getting to that 10-0 start value on floor, but there's a lot that goes into getting that 10-0 start value. What goes into that, Coach?
Well, I'm really excited about this segment because we're going to try to simplify this as much as possible by showing you this. So basically in gymnastics for college, there are A, B, C, D, and E level skills. Every routine has to have 3 A's, 3 B's, and 2 C's as a baseline. And then you have to have special requirements, which we're going to talk about when we watch the routine. The goal is that your baseline routine starts at a 9.4 and you have to add 0.6 of bonus to get to the 10.0 start value. And then through execution issues, that's how you basically lose your 10.0. And we're going to talk about that today.
We're going to look at Maddie Desch's floor routine, and you talk about how exciting it is to watch her on floor, but especially one of her passes that really connects and gets a lot of those bonuses that you talk about.
Yes, I call it the continuous pass because it continues to just keep on going. We have combination bonus in there. So remember, there's a difficulty level in the skills, and then there's combination, how you get bonus. So that's basically the simplified version. Okay, so you see Maddie starts off with dance and she's showing her personality. So the bottom line is you are judged on the artistry of your routine. The judges are looking for high releve, they're looking for footwork. And so as Maddie starts this first pass, she starts with a round off back handspring double pike salto, an A plus D level skill. Now, she has a little bit of a control issue right there, which is a deduction, but to get to the base of the score, she has 1/10 of bonus so far. So she's basically at a 9.5. So then you see her dance. She's smiling. She's bringing the audience in. It's, of course, a lot of fun when we're at home because our student section starts screaming BAMA, B-A-M-A, A, so that's always fun. Okay, she goes A, that's a C-level skill into a B-level skill into a split jump into a front tuck. She goes into her leap pass, which is a C-level terre half into a split full. So that basically gives her 2/10 of bonus in her tumbling and another 10th in the dance. So now she has 4 total 10ths in bonus. Now she's setting up for her last pass. The new rule this season is if you do a double salto or a E-level skill in your last pass, you not only get the 1/10 for the skill, you get an additional 10th for doing it in your last pass. So right here, Maddie has a round off back handspring, an A plus A into a double tuck salto, giving her 2 more 10ths in bonus. So she basically gets to her 10.0 start value by having 2 double saltos, her combination in her middle pass, and her combination in her leap pass. I hope that makes sense and that you can understand that it's her 10-0 to lose by having straight legs, controlling the landings, and great 180 splits.
Each week, it's so interesting to learn about the new rules in college gymnastics. These are ever evolving, and also who's ever evolving. Shay Mahoney. Coming up next, we're talking about Shay, her journey as an Alabama gymnast and a senior. Ugh.
The Dana Duckworth Show is brought to you by Alabama One.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe it's already here. You know, it's funny because part of me feels like I have been here for so long and I have been at Alabama since like forever. Like there wasn't gymnastics before Alabama, I've just always been here. But then part of me is like, you were a freshman last semester. So I can't believe it's here, but I'm so excited and just really expectant for what this year will bring. Through Alabama gymnastics, I have learned that I can handle a lot more than I think I can. I have learned that it is okay to fall on your face I've grown so much as a person. I've grown as an athlete, of course, but I've learned that the relationships that I've made here and the person I am becoming and the things I'm learning, the places I'm growing in, I've learned that it's okay to not be perfect all the time. I've learned that it's okay to mess up. And Alabama Gymnastics has truly taught me how to pick myself back up when I'm down. That if you work for something wholeheartedly and give it your absolute best shot, that is what matters. Progress and truly becoming who you were meant to be. I think the best piece of advice I could give 17-year-old Shay is to truly embrace every moment, because I can find myself getting ahead. And I think that learning to embrace every moment for what it is and learning the lesson, experiencing life, and truly loving what each season of life brings, I think that's what I would tell her, is that every moment is going to bring something new, something exciting, and something to learn from. So to truly embrace every moment that's ahead, because before you know it, you're gonna be a senior sitting here, almost done with gymnastics and moving on to what's next. So just embrace every moment.
Coach, you have such a special bond with each of these girls, and as you see 18-year-old Shay to now just celebrating her 22nd birthday this past week, those 4 years of growth with Shay, what's the difference between 18-year-old Shay?
You have no idea how much this young lady has grown. I mean, it's hard for me not to get choked up because I don't want her to leave. She's one of the most special human beings I've ever had as an athlete. Shay is so inviting. She opens her heart to people. She's a helper. I mean, she loves to help. And I think one of the things she also has learned through her journey is that she has to be careful of trying to help so many other people. She loses who she is. And I think that she's found that in herself. I think that we realize that in life we have our own scoreboard, and her faith and her family and her relationships are her scoreboard. And the accolades and the rings on the finger, of course we want all those things. But this young woman symbolizes what it means to be an Alabama gymnast. She has done incredibly well in the classroom. She gives back to the community, and she has excelled on the arena floor with all heart and with all joy. And so it's hard to see that smile and not smile back. But I also know that she is going to go into life and be so successful, because anything she's ever been a part of, I get that text message or phone call that she was the best role model that you could ask for. So that's how I feel about Shay and many of my athletes, but this one is close to the heart.
She really is so kind, and a happy belated birthday to Shay. Coming up next, we're talking the road meet at LSU and Power of Pink meet. Stay with us.
The Dana Duckworth Show is brought to you by Alabama One.
There you see Coleman Coliseum lit up in pink, and it's going to be lit up in pink again on February 7th for the Power Pink meet against Missouri, which we will get to. But first, Coach, I want to get your thoughts on heading to LSU, another road meet for you guys in Baton Rouge against a talented LSU team, and they're second in the SEC. You guys are third in the SEC, so it's going to be a close matchup.
It's an awesome rivalry. I was asked a long time ago, what's my favorite rivalry right now? And I always say all of them. But this one is special. It is going to be an awesome experience for our athletes because the PMAC is loud, the crowd is crazy, and it's going to be fun. This team continues to get better. And so what we want to see this week is them to trust their training, trust their preparation, and find those .05s that they can get back so that we can hit that higher mark this season.
And quickly, I do want to talk about Power Pink because that's such a special meet to be able to attend on February 7th, and a lot of girls having that special connection to breast cancer awareness, and it's just a special meet all around.
Well, and if you are watching this and you don't have tickets yet, go and get those tickets at the box office right now. The Power of Pink is one of the most special meets that we do because it truly is about something bigger than Alabama gymnastics. It is about celebrating those that have fought and survived breast cancer. It is those that are fighting it now, and to remember the loved ones that lost their battle. And so it is so much bigger than gymnastics. It is, we want that arena sold out. I want to see everybody in pink. Wear your pink wigs, bring your pink, and let's celebrate the awareness of breast cancer, because it is important for no matter what age you are to know more about it.
And thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode of the Dana Duckworth Show. We'll see you next week, but again, make sure you're looking at those Power Pink tickets. It's going to be a meet you don't want to miss. Have a great week, everybody.
This has been a presentation from Learfield IMG College.